Welcome back to my kitchen. So I just got off the phone with Mike, and I asked him what he wanted for dinner, and he said, I want something light. So I have just the perfect recipe for that. Let's see if I can find it in here. Here we go. Pea-lafels. If you like falafels, you are gonna love this. This is like a lighter, better version of falafels. You use frozen edamame and frozen peas instead of whole chickpeas. It's so great and so beautiful and green on the inside of it. Oh, I can't even tell you. And the best thing about it is, like, if you need a meal on the table in 30 minutes or less, this is it. I usually have everything in the house. I usually have the pitas and the edamame and the peas, which I always keep in the freezer frozen, and I have my myriad of spices up here, which I just need fennel seed and coriander seed for. But I may just need to run out and grab a shallot and some mint, but who can't do that? So let me gather all of my stuff and get the kitchen set up, and I'm going to show you how to make these. See you in a minute. Alright, well, let's get this thing started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get our edamame and our peas into a strainer and thawing. So the great thing about this recipe is that you are using edamame and peas as your base instead of chickpeas, which usually make normal falafels really heavy. And I know that Michael doesn't like normal falafels for that reason. So we're going to take a cup, or about a cup. It's not an exact science here. So about a cup of frozen. Make sure you get the shelled edamame. We'll do about a cup of that. And then we're going to do a cup of the frozen peas. And again, it's not an exact science. So the best thing about cooking is that you can add or subtract or make it your own, whatever you like. Alright. So now I'm just going to run these under some cold water and get them to defrosting. And while that's going, the next thing we need to do is we need to get our spices toasted. So we have some fennel seed and we have some coriander seed as well. And we're going to get these into a dry saute pan. We're going to use half a teaspoon of the fennel seed and 1/4 of a teaspoon of the coriander. So get those going. And you do not want to leave these for too long. Just do them over a medium heat. And when you can start smelling them, they start to become really fragrant. Take them off. You do not want them to burn. They'll burn in an instant. Okay, well, those are toasting up. Let's go ahead and get our shallot taken care of. So you treat a shallot just like you do an onion. You want to take and peel it. And we're just going to do a rough chop on this because all of this is going to go in the food processor, and which makes life so much easier. I just bought LaQuisha over here a few months ago, or about a month ago now, and I am all for making sure you have good kitchen equipment. It makes your life so much easier and makes cooking that much more enjoyable. It's not such a chore. So, if I can get this skin off of here, we're just going to do a nice rough chop through here. Doesn't have to be anything exact. So let's get that all chopped up. Same thing to this one. So you're just going to need one large shallot. Now usually you'll find the shallots over by the onions and the garlic. So let's go ahead. We'll get these in there. You know what I forgot? I forgot my blade for this. She comes with her own box of blades, which is Even the real housewife messes up. So, let's get that in. Try this again. I can smell these already, so that means they are done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the spice grinder, which is just a coffee grinder that I use only for grinding spices. Mike doesn't like the taste of fennel coffee, which I don't understand because you'd think that'd be pretty tasty. So we'll get this bad boy plugged in. We're going to pour these right into it. And always make sure to get these on a nice fine grind and grind away. All right, and those are done. That can go back there. My peas and edamame are nicely, it's just so quick to defrost in cold water like that. That is the amazing thing. So let's get these right in the food processor as well. And then we're also, let's take care of 1 clove of garlic. Just get it smashed. Doesn't have to be anything special because, like I said, all this is going in the food processor and it's going to do all of the work for you. All that hard chopping and all that other fun stuff. So let's go ahead. We've got the peas, we've got the edamame, we've got the shallots and the garlic. Let's go ahead and add our spices in. Just oh, it smells so good. And I never go anywhere without my buddy kosher salt. Okay. Okay, so we've got our edamame, our peas, which we just defrosted in some cold water, easy as pie, our ground fennel and our ground coriander, which we toasted the whole ones in a dry saute pan, our 1 clove of chopped up garlic, and our shallot in there. Now we need to get the mint. That's why they called these the fried pea and mint sandwiches or patties. So it calls for about 3/4 of a cup. Again, you know, when it comes to certain things, I'm a measure, but when something like this, it's all about eyeballing. I'm a big believer in the cooking police are not going to come and get you. So we will just make sure we get around about 3/4 of a cup. Now this recipe also calls for a yogurt dip, and we don't eat a lot of yogurt around here, so they don't sell the plain yogurt in just a small amount. So instead, we just put ranch on here. That is how classy we are here in Mukilteo. So you can do whatever you want. You know, the yogurt dip actually calls for more mint, so you'll have to buy more mint at the store unless you grow your own outside, which my grandma used to. We used to go out after eating dinner and grab some mint up there in the junkyard. I know, I sound classy, don't I? So, mint right in there, about 3/4 of a cup. And then we need 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then we're going to give this all 1 good whiz. All right. Let's get the lid on, make sure it's secure. And we're going to whiz this until it all comes together. So. Okay, so you may need to scrape this down because it has a tendency to push up on the sides there. I'm going to use the same bowl. So all it had in there was water. And we are going to get this into this bowl. It's such a beautiful green and such a bright and vibrant color. That's one of the great things about this is, you know, they get kind of brown and crispy on the outside, but when you bite into them, you still maintain this really bright green from the peas and the edamame. And it's a bit unexpected, but it's very nice. Now, there are chickpeas in this, but they come in the form of chickpea flour, which you can buy in the grocery store in the flour aisle, but it comes in like the little packages of like bread mix or the pre-packaged bread mix. It says chickpea or garbanzo bean flour. And I like to keep them in these mason jars because they seal, nothing can get into them, and they're right there in your face. So you're going to need about 1/4 of a cup, nice heaping 1/4 of a cup. Get it in there. I'm actually going to use a wooden spoon for this one. And let's get these just mixed in. Now, this mixture is still going to be pretty moist. Do not worry. You want it to be moist. You don't want these patties to be like dry and chalky when you bite into them. That is the appeal. So, let's do a little quality control here. Oh, that's good. So, the recipe doesn't call for this, but I like a little bite in there. So I'm going to add some crushed red. Always keep that on hand in my kitchen. Use it in everything. Just for a nice little poke. And let's do that again. Delicious. Okay. So, let me get this station cleared up and we will get ready to fry these. Now you can also do these in the oven. You just have to watch them. You're going to want to put them on a baking sheet with a wire rack so they don't just sit directly on the cookie sheet. And that way the air can kind of go around them. And I think if you bake them about 425 and just watch them so when they're getting golden brown and then pull them out of the oven, they'll be just as good. But I love to fry things. So let me get this cleaned up and get the stove ready and we'll be good to go. Alright, so I like to use canola oil because it's got a higher smoke point than, let's say, extra virgin olive oil has. So it's not going to smoke up, going to let me get nice and hot. So I don't make the little patties until I'm ready to put them in the oil. And a little tip for you, keep your hands wet, and that will help the mixture from sticking to you. So you're going to want to form these just into little patties that fit right in the palm of your hand like that, and then drop them in and you hear them sizzle right away. You just roll, and I tend not to do more than 4 at a time because I don't want the temperature of the oil to drop too much. So you're going to let them go on each side for probably about 2 minutes, and that should be enough time to get them nice and brown. This water also helps so you don't have to keep running back and forth to the sink to wash your hands. I also always keep, for my holding pattern, for when they're done, just a regular sheet tray with the rack on top of it, sitting right next to it on the stove, just so I'm ready to go with my fish spatula. I can toss them over here, and that way it just kind of facilitates the movement of this whole process. And I tell you what, this is one of my go-to dinners because it is so quick and so simple, and normally I have everything, and so it's just, I may have to run to the store for some pitas or fresh tomatoes or whatever, so this is a good one. So And I always notice that the first ones always seem to stick. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the oil's just not hot enough yet. Just let them go. So I'll show you how to do these first 4, and then I'm going to rock the rest of these out. You should get anywhere from 12 to 16 patties depending on how big you make them. And I'll see you back here after I get all these done. But let me show you when I flip them. You want to make sure, just flip it kind of nicely like that. Careful not to splash yourself with the oil. And watch, because these do pop around and everything in there. Great. So, I'll see you back over here once I get all these done. Alright, so I'm just pulling the last of these and getting them on my little platter to get ready for dinner. Now I'm going to cut up some cucumber. I love to use the English cucumbers because there's no seeds in them, and I like to slice them really thin. You know, I love this meal, like I said, because it's so quick and it's so simple. And Mike always says, like today I texted him while he was at work and said, what would you like for dinner tonight? And he said, how about something light? And we texted each other at the same time and said, how about Pea-lafels? So, you know what they say, great minds think alike. And this is something, like I said, that I can just whip up at any time. So, now I'm not a big tomato fan. Michael is. So I like to keep things separate. I'm a little goofy like that. So I like to make sure there's plenty of everything. That should be good for my cucumbers. And then I do the same thing with the tomato for Michael. Just slice it really thin. Alright, let's get that on there. And let's go ahead and get one of these bad boys all set up. Wipe up my board here. Oh. I like 2 nice Pea-lafel patties right on the inside there. Some cucumbers. And then, like I said, Aarti has a recipe for the yogurt sauce, but we like to follow the KISS method, the keep it simple stupid, and just use ranch dressing. It has all the goodness in it. Oh, I cannot wait. Okay, so when you bite into this, it's got that crispy outside, and the inside is still kind of buttery, and you get the taste of, you get the taste of the shallot and the peas, and you get a little hint of like the fennel seed and the coriander. I think I could eat these every day. Okay. A little wine to wash it down. Alright, so as you can see, this is such a simple meal, but it's actually very filling and good for you. Like I said, you can bake these in the oven at about 425, probably 15 minutes, I would say. I don't know, I haven't really experimented with that much, because like I said, I like to fry things. You can put anything inside them, but we like to keep it simple with the cucumbers and the tomatoes, and there is the yogurt sauce that you can put on it, but ranch dressing works in a pinch. So, tell you what, simple, easy as pie. This is one of my go-to meals. So, I'll post the recipe on the blog, and you can also find the recipe for it at foodnetwork.com under Aarti Party, and they're called fried pea and mint patties. So I hope you enjoy it, and come back to my kitchen.